It was good, everybody. This is P basketball. Bringing you previewing games, basically NBA games. The reason why I've decided to do this is because obviously I love watching the basketball games, and I don't know that the young people do like watching the basketball games. So hopefully, I can build some type of hype around watching games and developing more of a basketball IQ, your game, as well as just knowledge about the league because it's fun at the end of the day. All right, so some of the games I'm here to talk about today is the Suns versus Brooklyn. So Suns versus Brooklyn, Timberwolves versus the Mavericks, Jazz versus the Thunder, Pistons versus the Hawks, Hornets versus the Grizzlies, and Bucks versus the Pelicans. Let's start out with the Suns versus Brooklyn. When I look at the Suns and Brooklyn and I look at their roster, off top, I feel like Brooklyn should actually have a decent chance in this game. I know that as far as the team goes and what they've done this year, they don't look too good. But when I look at the overall roster, the roster seems to have a lot of good players who can actually produce. So I'm not really sure what's going on over there. Maybe with D'Angelo Russell getting into the lineup and maybe being that veteran point guard that they need to maybe turn that corner, maybe help Cam Johnson turn into even a better scorer and player. I know he's already a great scorer, but maybe better, more efficient, and obviously play the game, not just to score a lot of buckets, but to score a lot of buckets that matter. But then when you look over at the Sun side of the thing, you got Devin Booker, you got Kevin Durant, arguably two of the best players in the NBA today, but they've had their struggles this season as well. I know over the last couple of games they've actually been playing really well. They've won, I think, about 4 or 5 in a row. So with that being said, I would still pick the Suns to win today, just off the strength of the star power alone. But at the same time, when I look at the Suns roster, I don't get that same feeling I do when I look at Brooklyn's roster. I mean, when you hear D'Angelo Russell, Cam Johnson, Bojan Bogdanovic, Nick Claxton, Cameron Johnson, DeAnthony Melton, Wofford, Zaire Williams, they actually have a talented group of players. And then when you get to the Suns roster, you got Tyus Jones and you got some other players, but at the same time, the key to them winning is obviously always going to be Kevin Durant and Devin Booker obviously having a lot of output. So today I'm going to still go with the Suns just because of how they played lately, and obviously because of who Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are, and then not to mention, obviously, Brooklyn has been in a slump for some years now, it seems like. The next game talking about is the Timberwolves and the Mavericks, which in reality, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Timberwolves off the strength of their roster is a little bit more healthy than the Mavericks. I think Luka's out, obviously. In reality, though, this game actually holds a lot of excitement for me because I really like Rob Dillingham. I can't wait till he starts getting more playing time and consistently playing. And then obviously on the other side, you got Kyrie Irving, who's arguably one of my favorites ever to play. Very fun to watch him play. Any given night, you could see anything as far as scoring goes, as far as great moves go, as far as just a special performance goes. So I'm looking forward to watching this game a little bit. Obviously, Anthony Edwards, he's superstar in the making, but he still has a lot to prove with just being able to keep himself at that high level, but also help a team maintain winning, you know what I mean? Not to mention with the big trade that they had. Yeah, not to mention the big trade that they had that contained Julius Randle and Karl Anthony Towns or whatever. And Karl Anthony Towns been playing really good, but Julius Randle, he's been putting up numbers, but I feel like Naj Reid hasn't really had the season that they've expected him to have or whatnot. But once again, for me, the excitement it sits around Kyrie Irving, obviously. Obviously, I love Anthony Edwards. Mike Conley is a great starting guard. He obviously represents Indianapolis. But at the same time, like I said, I really can't wait to see Rob Dillingham play because when he gets his opportunities, he goes out there and he puts on great shows. He's great at the game and very fun to watch. So yeah, I'd be watching out for that game right there. Once again, I'm picking the Timberwolves to go on ahead and take that game. The next game is the Jazz and the Thunder. Jazz got a cool little roster, but at the same time though, it's just, it's players that we all know. Yeah, not to mention the big trade that they had that contained Julius Randle and Karl Anthony Towns or whatever. And Karl Anthony Towns been playing really good, but Julius Randle, he's been putting up numbers, but I feel like Naj Reid hasn't really had the season that they've expected him to have or whatnot. But once again, for me, the excitement it sits around Kyrie Irving, obviously. Obviously, I love Anthony Edwards. Mike Conley is a great starting guard. He obviously represents Indianapolis. But at the same time, like I said, I really can't wait to see Rob Dillingham play, because when he gets his opportunities, he goes out there and he puts on great shows. He's great at the game and very fun to watch. So yeah, I'd be watching out for that game right there. Once again, I'm picking the Timberwolves to go on ahead and take that game. The next game is the Jazz and the Thunder. Jazz got a cool roster, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. I don't really, like, obviously, Larry Markkinen, he's a good player. I think that when he gets to the right situation, that it's actually going to matter, the numbers that he puts up sometimes. Colin Sexton seems to play extremely hard. We all know John Collins, super athletic, can play the game. But then you look over at the Thunder and Chet is out. Jalen Williams is day-to-day, but they still have SGA. And I ain't going to lie, the way he's playing, he's liable to be able to win any game, even without a full roster. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Thunder this one. I'm not going to talk too much about it, besides saying I think that a lot more guards should watch Shea play, just off the strength of how he handles the ball and how he handles pressure, but also how he's able to break down his defender. He's a big guard, but he likes to use his body, not necessarily in the sense of posting up, but attacking the defender, getting him off balance, maybe using his shoulders to bump him a little bit, and then raise up in the mid-range. It's fun to talk about that, only off the strength of there's a lot of people who try to discredit mid-range game now, which is insane. And I think that the greatest players to ever play this game are mid-range guys. They can shoot the three, they can hit the mid, and they can also attack the rim. But it's all three levels of scoring. It's not just two. And it's also just the ability to break down the defense and see what's actually available, rather than just trying to attack things that aren't truly there or shoot threes that aren't necessarily the best ones, which I think a lot of teams get caught up in. The next game, it's not crazy, but at the same time, still a good game to watch because of the players who are playing in it. Well, let me take that back. We're watching the Pistons versus the Hawks, and I'm not going to lie to you, I've liked Cade Cunningham ever since he's come out. I mean, when he was in college, I liked him. I knew he was going to be a really good NBA player, and he just seems to continue to get better. But with that roster, I mean, the Pistons roster, it's improved, but still not a lot of guys who I'm super hyped up about watching play. But definitely looking forward to seeing him play. And then obviously you go to the Hawk side of things, and I would love to say it would be a great matchup to see, obviously, Cade go against Trae Young, but it's saying Trae is day-to-day right now. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Pistons to win this one. Off the strength of, I just think that Cade is a bigger star. I think their team is more healthy. The Pistons team is more healthy, and just kind of know what to expect out of them or out of this game, in my opinion. I don't know. I've been wrong before. The next game we're talking about is the Hornets versus the Grizzlies. Obviously, the big matchup in this game would be LaMelo Ball and Ja Morant, and I think that it will be exciting. I think LaMelo plays an extremely exciting brand of basketball. I think he's got really nice handle. He can finish, got a good jump shot, and he's so you just don't know what he's going to do next. And I think that that's a great skill to have in the game of basketball, the ability to keep the defense off balance, not knowing what you're going to do. But then you got the Grizzlies and you got Ja Morant. You know exactly what he's going to do, and he still has you off balance. He's going to attack the rim. He's going to be flying. He's going to be blown by you, making great ball handling moves, making great passes, making great decisions. I'm glad to see him back in the league. Kind of staying away from obviously the troubles and things like that, and just getting games under his belt. Going to turn him right back into a superstar. I think the Grizzlies are actually a really good team. They got a lot of guys from Indianapolis, well, not Indianapolis, Indiana, so shout out to them. But I do believe the Grizzlies are going to win this game. Got John Morant playing, Desmond Bane playing, Jaren Jackson Jr. playing. They virtually have a healthy roster, and they're going against, like I said, a Hornets team that, I mean, they got some fun players to watch, but at the same time, I don't know that they're playing like winning basketball. You know what I mean? And then last but not least, we got the Bucks versus the Pelicans. This game right here, I actually feel like obviously I'm leaning toward the Bucks. It'll be fun to watch Damian Lillard play against CJ McCollum. That's cool to always watch old teammates go against each other. Then you got Giannis, but Giannis is day-to-day, so who knows? And the last person I kind of highlighted in this one was Brook Lopez, because I just feel like he's a big part of winning. You know what I mean? He knocks down threes, changes shots at the rim. He can finish at the rim. Just a big utility guy that while he's out on the court makes a lot of really good plays and helps teams win. And then obviously going to the Pelicans side, right now you got CJ McCollum playing, great mid-range player, but he's kind of slowing down now. Got Trey Murphy. He's trying to emerge as a young player in the league who is solid. He is very athletic, can shoot the three at a high rate, can put the ball on the floor and get to the rim and finish. But at the same time, you know, the Pelicans consistently missing their star, Zion. He's day-to-day. I would love to see him play. I still have a lot of confidence and belief in him. I know a lot of people have went the other way, but I just feel like if he can pull himself together and figure out a way to stay out there on the court, we're going to see some really good basketball out of him. So with that being said, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bucks to go ahead and win this game just due to a better and healthier roster. And I just think players are going to show up and do what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So that's the preview for today. We're going to get back on here tomorrow. We're going to talk about the recap. So I'm going to talk to you about the games that we was right and the games that we was wrong. And we'll continue to build the community and just, you know what I mean? I would love to get your guys' information and your thoughts on these games. I think it'll be really fun to do this. So with that being said, I hope you all have a great day. But once you're done with your practices and you're done with your games today, maybe you sit down and you educate yourself on the game of basketball a little bit. Sit down and watch you a little bit of NBA. All right, y'all. Peace.